Alright, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into how Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai left a small remnant. Okay, how the Lord has preserved a small number of people who are predestinated for salvation. You know, so you have to keep that in mind, that, you know, although we're entering the time of judgment, you know, martial law, yeah, you know, the FEMA camps, concentration camps, famine, you know, World War III, the draft, pestilence, you got to remember, there's also salvation, there's miracles. Because remember, the elect are going to win. Alright, so remember, our people, the Hebrew Israelites, we've been in captivity for thousands of years. We're not going to captivity again. Remember, this is it. You know, so you have to rejoice, you know, and just remember, you know, the Lord's promise, His covenant, His contract that He made with Abraham, our forefather, that He would never forsake His seed. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 5. Even so, then, at this present time, so right now, at this time right now that we're in, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. See that? Because there is a small number of people who are going to be saved, rescued from all this judgment, okay, from all these bad times that we're entering. Romans chapter 9, verse 27. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel. Okay, so Israel is the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who are scattered across the four corners of the earth. Alright, and those of you that look like the other nations, alright, but you believe in the Lord, then you're an Israelite, because it's your spirit. Remember, very important, you don't have to necessarily look like a so-called black, Latino, Native American to be an Israelite. Alright? Because remember, we've been in captivity for thousands of years. Not hundreds, thousands of years. Alright? Remember what John the Revelator saw on the, you know, the chip, you know, the mark of the beast. Okay, the time that we're entering. Alright? He saw that 2,000 years ago. Okay, that was a long time ago. See? Alright, so this time right now, alright, as the Lord is going to save a remnant. Okay, a remnant, which is a small number of the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites who are scattered across the four corners of the earth. All right, so if you look like the other nations, let's say you look like a so-called Chinese person, a so-called white person, but you believe in the Lord, then you're an Israelite. Okay, um, with that being said, that's called Israelite foreigner and a confusing the faces. All right, but don't take no offense to that. All right, okay, because remember we've just been scattered throughout the the four corners of the earth. Underneath these other nations, we've been in captivity for a very long time. So it's you have to understand that it's just something that you have to just learn. Romans chapter 9 verse 27. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of children of Israel be as the sand of the sea. Yeah, because can you imagine? Like, when you guys go to the beach, to the ocean, to the shores, you see, like, you ever grab like a handful of sand? There's a lot of sands, there's a lot of sand. Imagine there's probably like 1,000 sands just in one little hand scoop. Can you imagine how many little sands there are, all throughout the world? You can't imagine that number, but the Lord knows that number. He even knows the number. Look at all the hair that you have on your head. Okay, all your hairs are numbered, and the Lord knows that too. Imagine that. Okay, even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. All the stars. Imagine all the stars. Esau can't even find out all the stars. Okay, the Lord knows how many stars there are, and also all the stars, not to go off topic, but they all have names. All right, imagine that. A remnant shall be saved, because you can't count the Israelites, because there's millions. There's probably billions. But a remnant, so only a fraction, only a small percent, which is the 1/3 and the 144,000 are going to be saved this time. Not all Israel, because back in when we were in slavery, underneath Pharaoh, when we were in brutal subjugation and slavery, okay, bondage. All right, the Lord saved all of us. Okay, but remember, when Moses went to go receive the commandments. All right, on the when Moses went to go receive the commandments, okay, and Mount Sinai. Remember, Mount Sinai is not an actual mountain. All right, you have a spot where Esau says it's the mountain of Moses, but Mount Sinai and the scriptures is really talking about reality. It's really talking about the spaceships. Okay, the so-called UFOs, the so-called UAPs. All right, just to give you that breakdown. So when Moses was in there receiving the commandments, our people were being wicked, tempting the Lord. After all those miracles, destroyed Pharaoh, used Moses to split the Red Sea, all right, by using spiritual power. Okay, our people were tempting the Lord, when the Lord fed us manna, quail, okay, angel's bread. Okay, we're pretty much what we're eating. Akim and Aqua, ladies and gentlemen, we're eating chicken, like chicken and biscuits, like chicken and bread. That's what we're eating, because quail is like chicken. We're eating quail, it's like chicken, and then manna, like angel's bread, it's like like bread, like nice bread, nice biscuit, you're not supposed to be going to those places, but how when you go to Popeyes, KFC, stuff like that, you go to like Louisiana chicken, you go to chicken spots, you know how it is. You ever wonder why they give you that biscuit? Okay, how they give you like a 3-piece chicken family meal, you get like a 3-piece chicken meal with like 2 sides, and you always get that biscuit. Okay, that goes all the way back to in the wilderness, because that's what we're eating. We're eating chicken, You know, like chicken and waffles. You ever hear that restaurant, chicken and waffle, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? All right, baby. That's what we're eating. Okay, we're basically eating quail. All right, we were. Okay, we were eating quail, which is basically like chicken. All right, and then manna, angel's bread, is like, you know, like waffles. You know, waffles, bread. So we're eating good. You know, chicken and bread. You know, like chicken and waffles. We're eating good. You see? And then our people, 2/3 of them were murmuring in the background, talking smack, like, "Oh, well, can the Lord furnish a table?" Like just tempting the Lord, you know. Instead of being grateful, like, damn, you know, the Lord saved us, destroyed Pharaoh, split the Red Sea, plague Egypt, all that. You know, instead of being grateful, you know, talking shit, you know, excuse my Italian. And then when Moses went inside that spaceship, that's very serious. Okay, Mount Sinai is Moses went into the so-called UFO with the Lord. Okay, a so-called UAP, a so-called UFO, which is known in the scriptures as the chariots of Israel. Chariot mean like the vehicles. Okay, that's the vehicles of the heavens. Because Psalm 68:17. Okay, the Lord and the angels ride in those vehicles, the so-called UFOs. Okay, they're not the Greys, they're not the green aliens from Mars, they're not the Titans. Okay, so all you bug outs out there, just cut the shit. Okay, they're the angels. See, not no Titans. Okay, you heathens are bugged out. Straight up, you heathens are bugged the fuck out. Okay, remember, you guys are raised on lies and fairy tales. You know, you may say, "Oh shit," you know, we don't. You guys are, you heathens and Edomites, believe in people who don't exist. You may say, "Oh, that's not true." Okay, raise your hand if you ever saw Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. Don't worry, I'll wait. You see? So, not out here just, you know, putting the heathen Edomite down, but you guys actually believe in lies. Like for real. Like for real, like for real. You know, we're not just, you know, being emotional and just pointing fingers. No, we're pointing stuff out. You know, we're giving you the facts, baby. You see? Alright. So when Moses was in the spaceship, the chariot of Israel, receiving the commandments on those tablets, okay, you know, which was also in the Ark of the Covenant. What was in the Ark of the Covenant? Any of you guys know out there? Okay, remember, there was 3 things in the Ark of the Covenant. Do any of you guys know? Remember, there's 3 things. Okay, the tablets, the commandments, Aaron's rod, and the manna. Okay, all right. And who hid the Ark of the Covenant? Jeremiah. Okay, he hid it real good, like real good, like real good. All right. Just a quick FYI. You know, just you know, sharpen your sword. You know, stay sharp out there. Okay. All right, because we all need to, you know, go back on precepts. You know, I as well. You know, I gotta, you know, get back on my studies and, you know, because but we all edify each other. That's why it's one body. You know, that's why Yahweh told Peter, "If you love me, feed my sheep." He told him 3 times because it's very important. Because it's not just about warning the sheep; you got to maintain it. You know, you can't just warn the sheep; you got to maintain them. Because people get sad, people get depressed. So you got to uplift your brothers and sisters out there, you know. So it's a constant fight, you know. It's a constant, you know. You got to be, you know. Sometimes you got to get rebuked. Sometimes you got to take losses. It's just the way it is, you know. But you got to stay on point and get back on track with the Lord. Okay, all right. Remember that. Just because you get hit, don't mean that the fight's over, baby. Okay, stay on track, stay on course, do what's right, pray, fast, study, work out. Okay, those 4 things right there. Remember, like the elders of Great Millstone told us. Okay, pray. All right, and, hey, I gotta do some more of that myself. You know, hey, if you're slacking, get on point. You know, because Satan and these demons will hop on you like you're so busy that yeah, you can't even pray. No, fucking stop. Okay, cut it out. Because sometimes, you know, you can have a busy demon on you, you know, because I go through that a lot, okay, where sometimes you're so busy you forget to pray, you know, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and it's like, hey, pray real fast, even if it's Even if it's 10 seconds, just throw a quick prayer. You know, stop what you're doing. You know, handle your business. Of course, don't just, you know, be reckless. Handle your business, you know. You know, make your breakfast, do whatever you gotta do, brush your teeth, you know, get ready. But right before you start that car, throw up a quick prayer, real fast. Boom. Okay? Alright? Don't forget to pray. You know, because I I go through that, you know, sometimes where I'm so busy, I'm like, shit, I didn't even pray, you know? And it's like that, you know, because you're like that, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, damn, I gotta, you know, you gotta hit the gym, you gotta, you know, get your children ready for school, you know, damn, I forgot this, damn, I forgot my boots, you know, it's like that, you know, like, damn, where's my shirt at, where's my sweater at, see, it's like that, you know, boom, I gotta do this, I gotta turn in my time, damn, you know, it's like that, you know, boom, I forgot to pack my lunch, I forgot my juice, you know, I forgot my water, it's like that, you know. So don't forget to pray. You know, pray at your lunch, even if you're at work, working. Just boom, throw up a quick prayer. You know, don't forget to pray. So pray, fast. Fast is a very strong tool to get back on point, fight against the demons. Okay, pray is a very positive thing because you detox your body. You know, prayer, you know, refreshes your brain because you're able to remember more stuff. All right, you give your body a rest to detox from all these chemicals and stuff that we're eating. Remember out there, just because you eat at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and Sprouts, just because it says that it's all natural, doesn't mean that it's all natural. Who knows what we're eating? Okay, remember, the Lord tells us through the scriptures that we shall eat our bread shall be defiled underneath the Gentiles. Because who's ruling? Amalek. Okay? These devils, these deceivers. Okay, so remember that. Okay, remember that. So remember who's ruling. So they never tell the truth, you know? So if they're lying to us about a certain stuff, you know, you don't think they're gonna defile, you know, the water, you don't think they're gonna defile the food. Alright? It's just it is what it is. But of course, oh damn. Right there, I just got a quick update. It says farmers walk out of the field. All right, not to get off course, but you see that because I got, you know, you get your updates because remember that famine is coming. Remember, you're not gonna have no food in these grocery stores. Remember that it's a very serious thing. You know, people want to laugh at, you know, at this thing. It's all right. Let them scoff. Remember, what's coming is very serious. People are actually gonna start dying by the thousands. You know, people are gonna stop laughing when they have empty stomachs and when they see their children starving. Remember, it's coming. Okay, it's coming. You can see it already. All right, they're taking the farmers, and then the farmers they're too scared to go to work. You know, because like they don't want to get deported. So there's gonna be less and less food on those grocery stores. So hyperinflation is coming. You know. So back on track. Pray, fast, study, and work out. Okay. If you don't have a gym membership, walk around the block, do some push-ups, do some squats, do some jumping jacks, anything, okay? Even just walking around the block, walk around your room, you know, walk around the house a little bit, get your steps in, okay? You don't gotta be all, you know, Rambo and shit, you know, excuse my Italian, you know, but just, you know, do what you can, you know, get a little bit, you know, whatever you can, you know, poco y poco, little by little, mijo, little by little, mijo. Little by little, okay? You don't gotta be all, you know, just, hey, do what you can, baby. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta try. Huh? So let's get back on point. So let's go to Micah, chapter 2, verse 12. Let's see. All right, so Micah, chapter 2, verse 12. I will surely assemble, O Jacob. So Jacob represents us, the 12 tribes, the Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew is our language. Israel, that's our nation, our nationality. Okay. All right. Some of us are American citizens, yes, but we're Hebrew Israelites. You know, we may have family like me. I have family that were raised in Mexico, So in this world, our enemies gave us proverbs and bywords. So I'm a so-called Hispanic, a so-called Mexican. So to this world, I'm a so-called Mexican American, but I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Because there's 18 nations in the Bible. Okay, all right. I will surely assemble. Micah chapter 2 verse 12. Salakia. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Basra, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make a great noise by reason of the multitude of men. Okay, so right there, I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. So the Lord is going to gather the elect. You can also, the precept to that is a remnant means a small number. Okay, you know what? Let's look that up real fast. Okay, let's Google it. Let's get it. So right here, let's look at that word remnant. Okay, let me see real fast. Definition. So right here, okay. So right here, definition of remnant is check it out, a small remaining quantity of something, because the Lord's not going to pick up all Israel, only a small number. And you can also get that breakdown, Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, okay? Because the Lord is going to save 1/3, but the 2/3 are going to cut off and die. All right, so it says the remains. Let's see here. Residue. Let me try to get a good definition here. So yeah, it says right there, a small remaining quantity of something. See that? Because because the Lord's going to save a small number of His people, not everybody. Okay, the Lord's not coming back for the Edomites and for the heathens. He's only coming back for the house of Israel, but only the elect of the house of Israel. That's it. See? All right. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel, so only the elect. Another precept is St. Matthew 24, verse 30 and 31. Because the Lord's coming back, remember, and power and those clouds, which are the so-called UFOs, the so-called UAPs, which are the spaceships. Because right now the Pentagon's freaking out. These military intelligence like CIA, KGB, MI6, they're tripping out because they see the ships. They may not admit it, but they see them, And, not talking bad to, if you're, agent out there, if you're in the CIA or whatever, it is what it is, It ain't no trouble, ain't no nothing against you, because you got to learn too, there could be, elect members in the CIA, FBI, absolutely, because that's just their job, Not everybody's corrupt and for the New World Order. Remember that. Okay, so remember, just because you hear that there's agents and stuff, don't worry about it. Just keep doing, stay positive, and keep teaching the truth. When that time comes, when the prophets and the believers have to be persecuted, so let it be. Just put your trust in the Lord. Don't get all stupid and out of order. Okay, remember your royalty. Okay, have some dignity and integrity about yourself. All right, just do the right thing. Don't worry about it. Just focus on your walk, and the Lord is going to handle the rest. You see? All right, because remember, just because people are in law enforcement, okay, remember the Apostle Paul, okay? The Apostle Paul was a bounty hunter. Okay, so that's to give you the that's to give you the example for law enforcement. Okay, so if you're a police officer, FBI, something like that, detective, it's all good because it don't matter because Apostle Paul was a bounty hunter. Okay, all right, and then he became Apostle Paul. Remember that Apostle Paul, he actually killed Israelites. Not only did he like grab them and arrest them, but he actually killed them. Imagine that. And then so remember, Yahweh Shai kicked him off a horse. All right, and so his name was changed from Saul to Apostle Paul. Okay, remember that. So it don't matter your walk of life, who you are. Okay, if you're the Lord's elect, you're the Lord's elect. It don't matter. Okay, what background you come from. All right, because you got elect members that came from the streets. You got elect members that came from out of the military. Okay, so you're gonna have elect members out of all walks of life. Remember that. Okay, remember that. Okay, now let's talk military. Let's say you're in the Army, you're in the Marines, you're in the Air Force, the Navy. That don't matter. Okay, because Esau's controlling it. You just decided to join the Army, the military. But that don't mean that the Lord looks at you like you're an enemy. Because you're not telling the Pentagon what to do, are you? The small hats do, okay? The elites. Alright? So an example of that is Cornelius. Okay, so remember that. Just because you're in the army, the military, don't mean nothing. Okay, that don't mean that you're that don't mean that you're an automatic enemy of the Lord. That's just your occupation, your career. That's just what you do, baby. Okay, all right. A prime example is Cornelius. Cornelius was a Roman centurion. Okay, a centurion means that he was in control of 100+ soldiers. Okay, 100+. Okay, so that is a centurion. All right, so Cornelius was a Roman citizen, but he was a Hebrew Israelite. See, it's kind of like let's say you're a so-called black, and you're in the Marines, the U.S. Marines. Okay, you are a U.S. a soldier. You're a U.S. citizen. Okay, you're an American citizen, but you are a Hebrew Israelite. Your nationality. Yeah, you're a so-called black man, or you're a so-called black woman. Okay, to the so-called black women out there, to the so-called Native American women out there, and to the so-called Latina women out there, you are the daughters of Zion. Okay, remember that. All right, repent. All right, and that goes out to the sisters out there, because there are good women out there. Remember that, okay? There are good women out there. There's not a lot, but there are good women out there. All right. Remember that to the brothers out there. Don't just right away just treat a sister like shit. Okay, because if she's trying, that's the daughter of Zion. Okay. Be good to our women. You see. All right. Yeah, if they're going off and doing all that, okay, then judge accordingly. But don't just look at a sister and treat her like shit. Okay. Remember that. Be good to our women because there's good elect women out there. All right, so don't just look at a woman and ignore her and treat her like stupid. When it comes down to the ministry, yes, they have to learn in silence. But when you're out there in the streets, be respectable. If they say hi and stuff like that, say hello. Hey, treat the sisters right. Because how do you know if that sister's not trying to repent and trying to get right? Because who the fuck are you just to ignore a woman? It's different when you don't want to date a woman. Okay, that's different. Okay, she's trying to come on to you. That's different. Like all right, you're not interested. That's different. But if a sister has a question, don't just fucking dog her out. All right, I'm tired of that shit. All right, because our women need help too. The sisters have to learn in silence. But when you're out there and a woman has a question or something like that, if a daughter of Zion, let's see, she needs help with something, help out a sister, because yes, there's not many of the of good women out here, but there are out there. See, so don't just automatically treat the daughters of Zion like shit. You know what I'm saying? All right. Because remember, there are women. You know. Remember that. Okay, and remember how you used to be. Okay. Are you perfect in this thing? All right. So what gives you the green light just to treat these women like shit? Just because, oh, okay, yeah, the man comes first. Yes, the man comes first. The man is above the woman, but that don't give. That's just establishing an order. But that don't give you a green light just to treat women like shit. Okay, what if that woman is a good woman and she believes in the Lord? You see? All right. So you guys gotta cut that shit out. Judge accordingly. All right. Watch yourself now. Okay. Don't be puffed up with pride. Okay, because our women need help too. Remember that. All right. Just gotta get on your head about that. All right. Excuse my Italian, but hey, sometimes, hey, I gotta get on your guys' head. It gotta come out because sometimes, shit gets, sometimes brothers are just getting careless out there, and you're puffed up in pride. So, I gotta get on your head. The spirit's on me right now. Just, I gotta lay it down. Because there's a lot of stupidity out here, where brothers are just treating sisters like shit just because the fuck of it. No, okay, if that sister is a good sister and she's trying, you better treat that sister right. Don't just look at her and be like, oh shit, So what? If she came with a background dealing with a lot of men. Look at you. Look at look where you came from, my nigga. All right, so give her some time. If she's not worthy, okay, then let it be. Keep it walking. But if she's trying, then deal accordingly. You see? I gotta get on your head now. Because, hey, Jake be going the fuck off out here. Remember, judge, but judge accordingly. Judge righteously. See? Huh? All right, so let's get back on topic. Micah chapter 2 verse 12. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Basra, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. So yes, the Lord is coming back for the remnant of Israel. Remember Zechariah 13 and verse 8. Okay, lets us know that 1/3 is going to be saved and the 2/3 are going to be cut off. All right. So we're going to finish off right here, closing script in Isaiah. Okay, bear with me. All right. Isaiah. Damn, sorry. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 9. Here we go. Except the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Lord of hosts. Lord of hosts means Lord of armies, because the Lord is a man of war. Had left us, okay, except the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Lord of hosts, have left unto us a very small remnant, the elect. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. Again, Isaiah 1 and 9, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, the elect, because the elect are preserved. Okay, you guys are on reserve for salvation. Don't matter how hard our enemies try to knock you out of this thing, they can't, because you're in the Lord's hands. He purchased you with his blood. You ain't going nowhere. Okay, the Lord got you right there. It don't matter. Let our enemies scramble. Let them get mad. Let them throw a tantrum. Let them hit the walls. Let them act like brats. They're not going anywhere. Okay, so just relax. Okay, keep doing the right thing. Stay on the path and do what's right. All right, get yourself in order. Clean yourself up. Make the adjustments. Okay, and the Lord's going to handle the rest. All right, enough excuses and I don't know. Okay, remember, it's not about you. Did you go on that cross? Remember, it's not about you. Okay, remember about the body. Remember about the elect. Remember, when certain brothers have to make adjustments, When certain brothers have to leave and do different stuff, leave their jobs, do certain things. Sometimes brothers have to do things that's beneficial for the body. Okay, because sometimes brothers are working too much. Sometimes brothers are not working enough. So if you're a brother out there, don't just be real quick to judge a brother like, hey, that brother just left this job or did that. Hey, brothers have to make adjustments. They have to do what's right, what's better for them, their health, for the body. Okay, so remember that. Okay, don't just get real mad at a brother because, hey, this brother left the job. Okay, well, certain brothers have to do stuff, but because sometimes brothers are too busy. Sometimes brothers need a second job. Remember that. Okay, so remember that you know certain brothers have to do things to what's beneficial to their health. Sometimes brothers are not having enough time for the Lord. Okay, so sometimes brothers have to make moves, and you got to understand that you can't just get mad and say, well, why did brother do that? Remember, just because a brother is doing stuff, you know, if it's not according to your liking, remember, okay, watch yourself now, because remember, that brother, he's not your servant. He don't serve you. He serves the Lord. Okay, that brother tries to be brotherly to you, but when that brother has to get moving, okay, if he has to go in the wilderness or whatever, that's the Lord telling that brother, okay, I need you to do that for me. Remember, the Lord, the brothers don't move for you. Okay, the brothers are brotherly for you. Okay, they can pray for you, help give you shekels, pray with you, do what they can, be a brother. But remember, okay, just because a brother does something that you don't like, if he's not going off, then that brother's doing fine, or that sister's doing fine. Okay, all right. A brother don't have to do a certain job just to please another brother. Remember that, okay? Because a brother, remember, the brothers out here, they don't serve you. Okay, they serve Yahweh Shem Shai. So remember that, okay, when brothers have to do different stuff, just because you may not like it, remember, the brothers have, the Lord has a plan. Okay, you have to trust in the Lord's process. Okay, so don't be real quick to be like, oh, well, the brother just left this job. Forget that brother. No, you don't know what that brother's going through. Okay, or you say, let's say, hey, the sister had to leave this job. How do you know? Okay, what if her man got a second job and she has to take care of her children? Okay, don't just judge that sister like, oh, well, she just quit. Well, maybe there's a good reason behind that. Just check it out, okay? Did they just leave that job because they're being a degenerate? Or did they leave that job to get their spirit right, to get right with the Lord? Okay, because they're not studying enough. Okay, they're not spending enough time with their family. Okay, they're not spending enough time with the Lord. See? So be careful when you judge. All right? Because certain brothers and sisters have to make moves out here. Okay, and it's not to offend brothers and sisters, but sometimes people have to make adjustments to better their life, to get better, to dive into the scriptures more, to build up their relationship with the Lord more. Okay, remember, you don't have to have a top tier job to be, to be close with the Lord. Remember that, okay? So when brothers or sisters have to make moves, okay, remember, if that brother or sister is part of the hopeful elect, okay, then the Lord's dealing with them. Remember, the Lord's servants, they don't serve you. They serve the Lord. So stop trying to be like, oh, well, that brother and sister's not making me happy. Remember, they don't serve you. They serve Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, if they're being brotherly to you, and being a sister to you, okay, if they're not going off, then that brother and sister is not doing anything wrong. Okay, if they have to make adjustments, let them make adjustments. The Lord is dealing with those individuals. All right, stop trying to have them, please you. Because remember, they don't serve you. They serve Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, so if they're being brotherly to you, if they're not, going off, all right, according to the law, then that brother and sister is in good hands. Okay? Some of you out there just need to chill a little bit. See, some of you are, you get too emotional. You gotta look at the big picture. Okay, what's going on? Okay, maybe some brothers and sisters need to make adjustments because maybe they're working too much. Okay, maybe they need to study more and build their relationship with the Lord more. So that's why brothers and sisters make moves. Okay, it's not just because they want to just leave a brother or sister high and dry and just, leave you hanging. No. Certain brothers, they have to move. They got to do what's best for them, for their life, for their situation. Okay, what's better for the body. Sometimes it's just like that. Okay, all right. So you have to understand that. Okay, you have to be patient. And you gotta know the full story before you just be like, oh, this fucking brother or sister's no good. Well, do you know why they're doing what they're doing? Did you ask him, or did you just say, oh no, that person fucking left? F them. See, okay. This is why you have to you got to see what's going on with that individual before you make that call, before you make that judgment. Check out what's going on. Why did they leave? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 9. Except the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, of hosts have left unto us a small remnant, the elect. We shall have been unto Sodom, and we shall have been unto Gomorrah. So right there, ladies and gentlemen, okay, is the precepts on the remnant, okay? Because the Lord have left unto us a small remnant, okay? A small group of people who are going to be saved, okay? Your sins are covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. Remember, don't add sin upon sin, offend less. You're gonna have slip-ups. You're gonna sin, but that don't mean that you're not part of the Lord's elect. Okay, remember, it's gonna be like that all the way until Yahweh Shai arrives in those ships, all the way. But offend less. Put effort. To sin less. Try. Don't just sit here like, oh, fuck it. No. Don't have that attitude, you got to shake off that demon. And because sometimes you can have a lazy demon like, oh, well, fuck it. If I just die, whatever, I tried. No. Okay. Cut that shit out. It's the Lord, go hard for the Lord. It's crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. It's crunch time. You need to go hard for the Lord. Cut that shit out. That weak spirit. Hey, because sometimes that demon tried to hop on me because I know what it's like, by experience. I'm not, no elder in this thing, but I've been in this thing for about 6 years, 6-7 years. So I know, hey, I'm not perfect, but I know what your brothers and sisters are going through. It's hard, so, that sometimes you get that lazy demon on you. Well, oh, fuck it, whatever. I tried. If the Lord destroys me, so be it. No, fuck that. Knock that shit off, Let's go. On your feet, soldier. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the Lord here. You know what I'm saying? Would you just give up on your girlfriend, on your boyfriend, on your wife, your husband, on your children, your son, your daughter, your brother and your sister? You see? So same thing with the Lord. Okay? Cut that shit out, Go hard for the Lord. Cut that weak shit out. Oh well, whatever, I tried, boo-hoo, poor me. No, fuck that. On your feet, soldier. Let's go. Cut that shit out. Make the adjustments. Remember, it's not all about you, mija. It's not all about you, mija. Okay? Alright? Remember, you got brothers and sisters who are going through stuff that is similar. Remember, you're not the only one in this trenches fighting this fight. Alright? So, make the adjustments. Cut off the excuses. All right, and remember, sometimes you have to take losses. So what? Stop whining. All right. Check out your resources. This is why the body's here, the brothers, the sisters. Okay. See what you can do. Okay. If something don't work out, okay. If something don't work out, make adjustments. Okay. If something don't work out, okay, change it up. Fuck it. Don't just stay there and be like, oh, well, this apartment's too expensive. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Fucking get out of there. Go live with a family member. Okay, go rent a room. Go live in your car for a little bit. Stack up some bread, Go live with a family member. Go live with a brother, a sister. Okay? If you're living somewhere and you're like, oh, you're struggling, fucking get out of there. Okay? Remember that. You don't ever have to be like, oh, I have to live here. No, you don't. Okay? If it's too expensive, get the fuck out of there. That's enough. Okay? If you're seeing a woman and she's being a demon, cut her ass. Give her walking papers. Okay, if she's a good sister, take care of her. That's it. Okay, end of story. All right, cut off all the small talk. Oh, well, this and well, that. Cut that shit out. Okay, it's time to get right with the Lord. It's crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. It's crunch time. Okay, we're at the finish line, baby. Okay, on your feet, soldier. So with that, that's it on the the remnant. Okay, the elect. How the Lord had preserved a remnant. So with that, on your feet, soldier. Do the right thing. Stay strong. Stay prayed up. Shalom.